Yeah, that's the, oh God, what's the word? I won't use an adjective. That's the thing. For people on both sides, what's his name? Tyler Robinson, the young man who apparently, I should rephrase that. The cisgendered heterosexual white young man raised by conservative MAGA Mormon parents in one of the most conservative, one of the most all white states in the entire country, who allegedly shot Charlie Kirk last week. He's still alive. He's still alive. He's in custody. He's unharmed. I've seen mugshots, not a scratch on him. They took him into custody without, having to nearly beat him to death or anything like that. He's still alive. At some point, uh, we will find out why he did what he did. And at some point, we will find out from him what he believes or does not believe politically. He's still alive and in good health. Sooner or later, he's going to give an interview to somebody. It might not be until after his criminal case is done. And I would imagine that the state of Utah is going to seek the death penalty. I read something today that he's going to be facing state charges and not federal charges. I think, mainly because Utah has the death penalty. I think Utah was the state where Gary Gilmore was executed by firing squad. I think that was in the late 70s. So, Utah, heavily, predominantly Mormon. The Mormon religion, is very authoritarian. Uh, you, you know, I saw it reported that when the parents found out what their son had allegedly done, the first thing that they did was to call their local bishop, their Mormon bishop, because the absolute number one priority of all Mormons in circumstances like this is to preserve the reputation of the church, period. Even if it's their own kid. You preserve the reputation of the church and the faith. And so the first thing they did was call their local bishop. I've read a couple, 3 books about Mormonism. Probably the best book about Mormonism that I read was Under the Banner of Heaven. I think that's by Jon Krakauer. That book fucked me up, but that is a really, 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 really good book. Extremely well written book about a horrific story, but woven into that story is a very thorough history of Mormonism, which, like Christianity and every other organized religion, is completely fabricated by men. So, you know, I found some gold tablets. I put them in a hat with a special rock so that I could read them and it deciphered. Give me a fucking break, man. And God sits around through the first 90,000 years that men, human beings, Homo sapiens are on the planet. And then, like a little over 2,000 years ago, decides to go, to a completely backwoods, illiterate area of the Middle East to reveal all. Didn't go to China where, they could already read and write and do science and shit like that. China's been around for 5,000 years. It's like, oh, let's go to this fucking desert full of illiterate shepherds and take it from there. And Mormonism is just like bumps that up a notch. It's like the fucking Garden of Eden. It was in Missouri. You know, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, that was in Missouri. And Jesus walked on, you know, in North America somewhere. I don't know, man. Mormonism is also an incredibly racist religion. I mean, they didn't let black people participate until like 1978 or some shit. You know, but you know, what do I know, man? I I lost my train of thought. Oh, that's right. Yeah, this guy's still alive, man. He's still alive. He's got parents. He's got siblings. He's got friends. He was in a Discord chat. There are people out there who sent and received text messages to and from him. Uh, there are people who were in college classes with him. You know, there are going to be interviews given. We will find out the things that we all are speculating about right now. You know, but I know that he didn't have blue hair and he didn't have a septum ring. And, you know, he didn't have any Antifa tattoos. MAGA, he was one of yours. Yeah, he was a gripper. Followed Nick Fuentes, who thought that MAGA was too liberal. So, yeah, he's still alive. We're going to find out everything we need to sooner or later.